All right, come one, come all. It is time for another UFC prediction video. This is UFC 284, Makhachev versus Volkanovski. Uh, just the beginning of 2023 and already one of the biggest, most prestigious cards of the year. I'm not going to waste any of your many more of your time. These are just my opinions. And I think what I'm going to be trying to do, I was doing some research there. I think what I'm going to do is spend less time on the cards on the spend less time on the main card, just kind of give some quick predictions, and then just get to the fights that you're really here for. Not that the rest of the cards or the fights on this main card doesn't matter, but obviously you guys are here for different reasons. So Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo. I'm going with Alonzo. He's coming off of a win. He has pretty good takedown defense. Um, and Jimmy Crute's coming off a big layoff. Justin Taffa versus Parker Porter. I'm gonna go with Justin Taffa. Powerful dude. Not the best win record in the UFC right now, but once again coming off a win, so I'm just gonna go with that. Jack Della Mandela, Jack Della Mandela, Jack Della Mandela, Madalena, whatever, versus Randy Brown. I'm gonna go with Jack. I think that he is coming off of more TKO finishes, whereas Randy Brown is coming off a win streak, but is by decisions. And I haven't really gone back to his fights because honestly, they haven't really been too entertaining. I just feel like Jack is gonna prove um, too powerful for Randy, too good of a striker. And now we're going to get here to the fights that you're really here for, starting with Yair. I want to go quicker on the main card, or I guess the undercard, right? Is that what it's called? Because I found that in a lot of my prediction videos, I would kind of dilute my analyses for like the main event or the co-main events just because I would be pressed for too much time. I'd talk too fast. Right here, I'm going to give myself hopefully a little bit more time to explain at least the more important fights. Not to say that none of these fights, aren't important or none of these fights are important, but I know what you're here for. So I'm going to try to go into a little bit more detail, talk a little bit more slower about the two big fights of this card, starting with the featherweight interim title fight with Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett. Now, I'm a big fan of Yair Rodriguez. I think he has such an entertaining fighting style. And also, Josh Emmett's very powerful and very entertaining as well. But already there's some controversy about whether or not these two deserve to fight for interim. That could be its own video, but I won't go into too much detail. You all know, Yair is coming off of a win against Brian Ortega, but that win isn't really conclusive or definitive he won because of a mid fight injury with Brian Ortega's shoulder. Whereas Josh Emmett is coming off of a controversial split decision that many people believe that he lost. And, some would say, where's Arnold Allen? He should be fighting for interim. But, that's near or there. We got the fight now. It's been booked. Let's just enjoy it because we have two really great strikers here of different types. We have a powerful striker and boxer through Josh Emmett. Very powerful despite being 37. You know, Power declines last when it comes to combat sports. So he's still got the power. And Yair Rodriguez, coming from a karate background, is it Taekwondo or karate? I believe it's Taekwondo, excuse me. So very flashy style, lots of kicks, a varied arsenal of strikes. And Yair Rodriguez is the slight betting favorite over Josh Emmett. And I'm going to have to agree. I would probably bet on Yair Rodriguez. I just feel like, he is coming off of, well, not coming off of a loss, but he did lose to Max Holloway at the end of 2021. And although he lost, and I do believe that he lost, it was still one of the closest um, fights that I've seen. Like, I don't remember the judges' scorecards. There was maybe like a 49-46 and maybe like a 48-47. Some said like 50-45, but that was like one of the closest like 49-46s, 48-47 fights that I've seen. So, which shows that Yair Rodriguez can keep up with activity. Someone as active as Max Holloway. I think that with you know Rodriguez's accuracy, his unpredictability, his kind of wild card striking, I feel like he might be able to get the better of Josh Emmett. The thing is, with Josh Emmett, I can't speak on behalf of the judges, but what I feel, I guess, turned the tides or turned the decision in Emmett's favor towards the judges was Emmett's power. And even if he wasn't necessarily outlanding Cater, or Cato was blocking Emmett's strikes, Emmett's power just caused Calvin to react. Like he was like sent back a little bit. You know what I mean? He reacted to each one of his punches, even if Calvin Cato was blocking them. And I feel like just appearing like he was doing more damage, Um, I definitely think that's what kind of turned the judges, right? And so that same thing could still apply here. Yair can trade, and he is pretty tough, but if Emmett can just keep up the activity for 5 rounds, he might be able to sway the judges and, of course, get the knockout. He does have that a puncher's chance, but once again, I think that because of Yair's arsenal, I I think that I'm going with Rodriguez. But good luck to whoever wins. This is going to be a really great fight. Good luck to whoever because they're going to have to face Volkanovski, and I think either of these potential winners is going to have a tough time with him. And last but not least, what we're really here for. I mean, come on. Like, how often do we have number 2 pound for pound versus number 1 pound for pound? Makhachev versus Volkanovski. I mean, what other sport other than MMA? Like, this does not happen often. It's happened before, but definitely not often. Now, TLDR, I'll go with Makhachev on this one. And you know what? I'm a fan of Volk. I'm neutral to Makhachev. I'm not. I don't hate him or dislike him. But if I'm gonna root for whoever I'm more of a fan of, it's gonna be Volkanovski. But I am very nervous for Alexander Volkanovski. I believe that he loses this fight. Stylistically, if Volkanovski was moving up to fight somebody else, say Dustin Poirier, for example, I think that'd be a more competitive fight. As far as matchups go, in this case, I think that this is pretty favorable to Makhachev. As we know, Makhachev is coming off of a pretty comfortable win over Charles Oliveira, the most decorated submission artist in UFC history. Charles Oliveira being a proven grappler, as well as huge. He is also huge for the division, like Makhachev. And Makhachev beat Charles pretty comfortably, I think. And now Alexander Volkanovski is a shorter, um, not as proven of a wrestler. Not as much accolades in terms of wrestling, and also lighter too. Yeah, I think this could be a long night for Volkanovski. Now, I know we all know that Volkanovski used to play rugby at 200 pounds, and even though he's 5'6", he's still fought pretty much only taller people and bigger people and have beaten them all, right? But I think if someone like Brian Ortega could get Volkanovski in trouble, right? Who's to say that Makhachev still wouldn't be able to take Volk down or keep him down? Or if Volk does get up, who's to say that Makhachev couldn't get him back down again? Now, I'm not downplaying Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega is a beast. He has great jujitsu as well as a deadly guillotine. So, not downplaying Brian Ortega, but once again, Makhachev is still a very proven wrestler and even bigger. So very nervous, Volkanovski. I like his confidence though. He says that shorter guys are harder to take down because they have a better center of gravity, and I could believe that, right? And he could be able to get up quickly, and that Makhachev won't be able to keep him down. If it matters, if pound for pound matters to you, Volkanovski is my number 1 pound for pound, and he cemented that after his performance against Max Holloway. But if you're also on the side that pound for pound kind of doesn't matter, it is meaningless, then yeah, I feel like Makhachev's size is going to make the difference here. Even if they're going to be weighing in the same weight class, they're going to weigh different on fight day, and I think that Makhachev is going to use that to be able to bring Volk down and keep him down there and do what he wants with him. Um, I wouldn't put it above Volkanovski to have a perfect performance because that's what he would need in order to beat Makhachev. I don't see Volkanovski finishing Makhachev. We know that Volk has a lot of power and he has finished people at featherweight, but also he's not that frequent of a finisher at featherweight. And this is he's going up against someone who is at lightweight and is big for the division. So I don't think Volk is going to finish Makhachev. He needs a perfect performance. Um, he needs to be able to get up right away, not lose rounds, not lose minutes of control time to Makhachev, and win on the feet. Which I do think that Volkanovski does win on the feet, um, but Makhachev is not someone who takes unnecessary risks, not someone who makes much mistakes. I guess the minute that Volk starts to get the upper hand on the feet, he'll just take him to the ground, and that's what I believe. Um, but you know what? Regardless of who I want to win, like once again, this is such a huge fight. You know what I mean? Number 1 pound for pound, potential champ status for Volkanovski, as well as a huge first defense for Makhachev. I'm just gonna enjoy this fight for as long as this lasts. This is some of the best in MMA right now, and I'm just gonna enjoy it. Right. So that's my prediction. Is on Makhachev, maybe by submission, by the championship rounds, if not before. But once again, I wouldn't put a Volkanovski to take, to squeak out a decision, but um, it'll be a if that's his only path to victory, um, it's gonna be a long night for him. But either way, I'm gonna enjoy this event. Just have a good time. This is mixed martial arts. This is it right here. So those are my predictions. If you disagree, have any other weigh-ins, be sure to let me know. And hopefully you're gonna get my reaction soon after this. This is gonna be big. This is gonna be big, and so reaction is warranted. So catch you guys later.